Pay attention to the woman at the trunk. Margaret Hickman, 71, alone in a suburban grocery store parking lot, fighting heavy bags with arthritic hands. Now pay attention to the man walking in from 2 rows over. No cart, no groceries, hoodie, gloves, and his eyes aren't on the store, he's locked on her. Because in less than 10 seconds, he's going to help and leave Margaret carrying something she never agreed to. This is the story of how one woman's instinct, one attentive security guard, and one overlooked camera angle brought down a serial stalker. This was no random act of kindness. This was a calculated hunt, and Margaret Hickman may become her own last witness. Welcome to Last Witness. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories that expose how everyday moments hide extraordinary dangers. The following is a dramatized reenactment based on composite case files involving tracking device crimes and home invasions. Names, locations, and specific details have been fictionalized to protect victim privacy and demonstrate common predatory tactics. If you suspect you're being tracked or followed, contact local law enforcement immediately. The 20th of November 2025, 3:47 p.m., ShopRite parking lot, Maple Ridge, New Jersey. Margaret Hickman has just finished her weekly grocery run. It's Wednesday, the same day and time she shops every week, a routine she's kept for the past 15 years since her husband passed. Chicken breast on sale, fresh vegetables, cat food for her tabby, Mr. Whiskers, and the ingredients for her famous apple pie that she bakes for the church bake sale every month. The parking lot is moderately busy for a Wednesday afternoon. Mothers with young children loading minivans, teenagers grabbing after-school snacks, retirees like Margaret taking advantage of senior discount day. The November air is crisp but comfortable, the sun already beginning its early descent toward the horizon. Margaret's Honda is parked in her usual spot, row D, space 14, close enough to the entrance that she doesn't have to walk far, but far enough out that she avoids the chaos near the store. She pops the trunk and begins the tedious process of transferring bags from her cart. Her hands shake slightly as she lifts the first bag. Arthritis has been getting worse this year. Her daughter Emily keeps suggesting she switch to grocery delivery services, but Margaret values her independence. This weekly trip is one of the few routines that makes her feel capable, in control. She's halfway through loading when she hears a voice behind her. "Ma'am, can I give you a hand with those? They look heavy." Margaret turns to see Ryan Callahan standing beside her cart, already reaching for one of the larger bags before she can respond. He's smiling, the kind of warm, helpful smile that grandmothers instinctively trust. "Oh, that's very kind of you, dear, but I can manage," Margaret says reflexively, the way people of her generation do, never wanting to impose. "I insist," Ryan says, his tone friendly but firm. "My grandmother's about your age, and I'd hope someone would help her if she needed it." The mention of his grandmother disarms Margaret completely. She smiles and steps aside. "Well, thank you, young man. That's very sweet." What Margaret doesn't notice, Ryan's eyes aren't on the groceries. They're scanning the trunk interior, the back seat visible through the open door, the shopping bags still in the cart. He's cataloging, assessing, planning. Ryan lifts the heaviest bag, the one containing the gallon of milk, canned goods, and a large jar of pasta sauce, and places it deep in the trunk. His movements are deliberate. He adjusts the bag's position twice, unnecessarily, his gloved hands lingering inside Margaret's reusable shopping tote for just a few seconds longer than needed. Security camera timestamp, 3:49 p.m. Ryan's right hand enters the bag. 3:50 p.m. His hand emerges. 3 seconds. In those 3 seconds, a GPS tracking device the size of a thick coin, powered by a lithium battery good for 30 days, is tucked into the interior pocket of Margaret's grocery tote, the one she uses every week and never empties completely. "There you go," Ryan says, stepping back with a satisfied smile. "The heavy one's all set. You've got the rest?" Yes, I'm fine now. Thank you so much," Margaret says, genuinely grateful. "No problem at all. You have a great day, ma'am." Ryan gives a small wave and walks away, not toward any particular car, but toward the far end of the lot where the camera coverage is thinner. Margaret finishes loading her groceries, returns her cart to the corral like the considerate citizen she's always been, and drives away, completely unaware that Ryan Callahan now knows exactly where she lives, where she parks, and when she's home alone. Parking lot camera 4 captures Ryan's next move. He doesn't get into a car. Instead, he walks to a dark blue Chevy Silverado parked in the employee section of the lot, climbs into the driver's seat, and pulls out a smartphone. On the screen, a red dot appears, moving slowly out of the parking lot and onto Route 73 North, Margaret's dot. He watches it for 30 seconds, confirms the signal is strong, then starts his engine and drives in the opposite direction. He's not following her yet. He doesn't need to. The tracker will tell him everything. The 20th of November 2025, 4:15 p.m., Margaret's home, 342 Larkspur Lane. Margaret arrives home, pulls into her driveway, and begins unloading groceries. Her house is a modest 2-bedroom ranch-style home in a quiet residential neighborhood. Mature oak trees line the street. Neighbors are friendly but not intrusive. It's the kind of place where people still wave to each other and leave packages on porches without fear. She makes 3 trips from the car to the kitchen, her breath coming a bit harder with each load. Mr. Whiskers greets her at the door, meowing impatiently for his dinner. She feeds him first, as always, then begins putting away her groceries. The reusable shopping tote, the one with the tracker hidden inside, gets folded and placed in its usual spot in the pantry closet, along with 4 other identical totes. Margaret has used these bags for years. They're sturdy, eco-friendly, and she's proud of the small role she plays in reducing plastic waste. She has no idea that the bag is now broadcasting her location every 30 seconds to a server Ryan Callahan monitors from his laptop. By 6 p.m., Margaret has settled into her evening routine, a light dinner of chicken and vegetables. Jeopardy at 7 p.m., a phone call with her daughter Emily in California at 8 p.m., where she mentions the nice young man who helped her with groceries today. Emily, distracted by her own toddler's tantrum in the background, says, "That's nice, Mom," without really listening. They chat for 20 minutes, then say their goodnights. Margaret is in bed by 10 p.m., like clockwork. 3 miles away, Ryan Callahan sits in his apartment, a run-down 1-bedroom in a complex known for short-term leases and minimal security. His laptop is open on the kitchen table. On the screen, a map shows Margaret's home, marked with a red pin. The tracker hasn't moved since 4:18 p.m. Ryan opens a spreadsheet. Row 18. He fills in the details. Name: Margaret Hickman assumed. Confirmed via license plate lookup. Address: 342 Larkspur Lane. Vehicle: silver Honda Accord, NJ plates. Tracker planted: the 20th of November 2025, 3:51 p.m. Routine: Wednesday grocery runs. Senior discount day. Household: appears to live alone. No visible security system. He's done this 17 times before. The method is always the same. Identify vulnerable targets at grocery stores, offer help, plant a tracker, monitor their routines for 3 to 5 days, then strike when they're most predictable and isolated. His previous 17 victims were all elderly women living alone. The pattern is deliberate. They're trusting. They don't suspect younger men offering help. They keep routines. And most importantly, they don't have the tech literacy to realize they're being tracked. Ryan's crimes escalated over the past year. It started with simple burglaries, breaking in when he knew the victim was out. But in the last 4 incidents, he began entering while the victims were home, subduing them with threats and physical intimidation, stealing not just valuables, but banking information, passwords, and identities. Victim #4, a 68-year-old woman in Trenton, was hospitalized with a broken wrist after Ryan shoved her into a wall when she tried to call 911. Victim #6, a 73-year-old in Princeton, suffered a heart attack from the stress and spent a week in intensive care. Local police departments have the cases on file, but they haven't connected them yet. Ryan is careful. He varies his locations across 3 counties. He never uses the same grocery store twice in a row. He wears gloves, hoodies, avoids direct camera angles, and he always removes the tracker after the crime, leaving no physical evidence behind. Margaret Hickman is about to become victim #8. But this time, something will go wrong for Ryan Callahan, because this time, someone is watching. The 21st of November 2025, 9 a.m., ShopRite Security Office. Marcus Diaz has worked as head of security for the Maple Ridge ShopRite for 6 years. He's a former Marine, mid-42nds, takes his job seriously. While most security guards see the position as a paycheck, Marcus sees it as a responsibility. He knows the regulars, watches for shoplifters, and monitors the parking lot cameras for suspicious activity. On Thursday morning, Marcus is reviewing the previous day's footage as part of his routine audit. He's looking for anything unusual: theft, accidents, altercations. At timestamp 3:47 p.m., he notices something odd. A man in a navy hoodie approaches an elderly woman at her car. The man doesn't have a shopping cart. He didn't come from the store entrance. He came from the far side of the lot. Marcus rewinds and watches the man's approach. The body language bothers him. The man wasn't casually walking by. He was beelining toward her. Marcus zooms in as much as the camera resolution allows. The man helps load groceries, but his hand lingers inside one of the bags. Why? Marcus's instinct, honed from years of watching people, tells him something is off. He screenshots the footage, pulls the timestamp, and checks cameras from other angles. Camera 7 catches the man walking away, not to a nearby car, but all the way across the lot to a dark blue pickup truck. Marcus runs the plate through a database he has access to via local law enforcement partnerships. The truck is registered to Ryan Callahan, age 34, address in Cedar Grove, New Jersey. No warrants, no priors showing up in the basic search. But Marcus's gut won't let it go. He calls his contact at the Maple Ridge Police Department, Officer Linda Hayes. They've worked together on shoplifting cases before. He explains what he saw and sends her the footage. Could be nothing, Marcus says, but the guy's behavior was weird, targeted. I've seen a lot of people help strangers with groceries. This didn't feel like that. Officer Hayes watches the footage. She agrees it's unusual, but without evidence of a crime, there's not much she can do. Keep an eye out for the guy, she tells Marcus. If he shows up again, call me immediately. Marcus makes a note in his incident log and moves on with his day. But he saves the footage, and he remembers the truck. November 21 through the 22, 2025. Ryan monitors Margaret. For the next 2 days, Ryan watches Margaret's every move via the tracker. Her routines are clockwork, predictable. Thursdays, home all day. Leaves at 2 p.m. for a hair appointment at a salon 1.2 miles away. Returns by 4 p.m. Fridays, leaves at 10 a.m. for church volunteer work. Food pantry. Returns by 1 p.m. Home for the rest of the day. Saturday, groceries again? No. The tracker shows she stays home. Ryan determines that Friday night is optimal. Margaret will be home, alone, likely cooking dinner and watching TV. Neighbors on Larkspur Lane are spaced far enough apart that screams wouldn't carry. The street has no security cameras. Her house has no alarm system decals. He plans the hit for Friday, November 22nd, 8 p.m. The 22nd of November 2025, 6:30 p.m. Margaret notices something strange. Margaret is preparing dinner, a simple pasta dish, when she hears her phone buzz. It's a text from her daughter Emily. Hey mom, random question. Did you update your location sharing on your phone? I'm seeing you on my Find My Friends app, but I thought you turned that off. Margaret stares at the text, confused. She's not tech savvy, but she knows she never turned on location sharing. Emily set up her iPhone for her 2 years ago and specifically disabled those features because Margaret found them invasive. Margaret, I didn't change anything. Why? Emily, it's showing me your exact address right now. Maybe it's a glitch? I'll call Apple support. Margaret sets the phone down, uneasy. She's not paranoid by nature, but the text bothers her. She walks to her pantry and looks at her grocery bags, the ones she used 2 days ago. On a whim, she picks one up and examines it. Nothing. She's about to dismiss her worry when she notices the interior zipper pocket is slightly open, the one she never uses. She unzips it fully and reaches inside. Her fingers close around something small, hard, and unfamiliar. She pulls it out. It's a black plastic disc, about the size of a large coin, with a tiny blinking red light. Margaret's heart starts to race. She has no idea what this is, but she knows it doesn't belong to her. She calls Emily back immediately. Honey, I found something in my grocery bag. It's some kind of device. It's blinking. Emily, now fully alert, says, Mom, that sounds like a tracker. Do not touch it anymore. Put it down and call the police. Right now. The 22nd of November 2025, 7:15 p.m. Police response. Officer Linda Hayes responds to the call. When she arrives at Margaret's home and sees the device, her stomach drops. She recognizes it immediately. An AirTag-style GPS tracker, the kind that's been used in stalking cases across the country. Mrs. Hickman, when did you last use this bag? Wednesday, for groceries. That nice young man helped me load them. Margaret's voice trails off as realization dawns. Oh my God. Hayes bags the tracker as evidence and asks Margaret to recount every detail about the man who helped her. Margaret describes him as best she can. Mid-30 seconds, navy hoodie, work gloves, mentioned his grandmother. Hayes radios dispatch. I need all available units to canvass the area around 342 Larkspur Lane. Possible stalking suspect. Target has discovered the tracker. Suspect may be monitoring and could approach the residence. She calls Marcus Diaz at ShopRite. Marcus, that guy you flagged? We've got a tracker. Send me everything you have. Marcus uploads the footage immediately, including the license plate of Ryan's truck. Within 20 minutes, Hayes has Ryan's full background. Ryan Callahan, age 34. No criminal record, but multiple complaints filed against him in the past 2 years for suspicious behavior near senior living facilities. Truck registration, phone number, and last known address. Hayes puts out a bolo for Ryan's vehicle and requests a warrant for his arrest on stalking charges. The 22nd of November 2025, 8 p.m., The Trap. Detective Aaron Santos, a 15-year veteran of the Maple Ridge PD, arrives at Margaret's home with a plan. Mrs. Hickman, we're going to use the tracker to catch this guy. We'll move it to a different location, somewhere we control, and wait for him to show up. Margaret agrees. The tracker is placed in a decoy vehicle parked 2 blocks away in an empty church parking lot. Undercover officers surround the area. At 8:47 p.m., Ryan's dark blue Silverado pulls into the church parking lot. He parks at a distance, engine running, watching the decoy car. His phone is in his hand, the tracking app glowing on the screen. He waits for 10 minutes, confirming the target hasn't moved. Satisfied, he exits his truck and approaches the decoy vehicle, a slim gym tool in his hand, ready to break in. The moment he touches the door handle, floodlights snap on. 4 officers emerge from concealment, weapons drawn. Hands in the air, police. Ryan freezes, then bolts. He makes it 15 feet before Officer Hayes tackles him to the ground. The entire takedown is captured on body cameras. The 23rd of November 2025, interrogation and confession. Ryan Callahan is brought into the station. In his truck, detectives find 17 GPS trackers, unused. A laptop with tracking software logged into accounts monitoring 5 active trackers. A lockbox containing jewelry, credit cards, and IDs belonging to 11 different elderly women. A notebook with detailed notes on victim routines, addresses, and security weaknesses. Detective Santos sits across from Ryan in the interrogation room. You've done this before. Ryan stays silent. We found the jewelry, Ryan. The IDs. Whose are they? Silence. We can match these items to reported burglaries and assaults across 3 counties. You're looking at multiple felonies. Help yourself. Tell us who these women are. After 2 hours, Ryan's resolve breaks. He admits to 17 prior incidents, names victims, describes his methods, the trackers, the grocery store approach, the careful monitoring. When asked why he targeted elderly women, Ryan's answer is chilling. They're easy, they trust people, they don't fight back much, and they're always so grateful when you offer to help. The 15th of December 2025, trial and sentencing. Ryan Callahan is charged with 18 counts of stalking, 11 counts of burglary, 4 counts of assault, and multiple counts of identity theft. The evidence is overwhelming. Margaret Hickman testifies, her voice steady, describing the moment she found the tracker and the fear that followed. The 11 recovered IDs are matched to victims across New Jersey. Each woman testifies. Some were burglarized, others were assaulted. One spent a week in the hospital. Ryan pleads guilty to avoid trial. He's sentenced to 35 years in state prison. Margaret Hickman walks out of the courtroom holding her daughter's hand, grateful to be alive. Present day. Marcus Diaz was commended by the Maple Ridge Police Department for his vigilance. The ShopRite where he works now has additional signage warning shoppers about tracking device scams. Margaret Hickman has since moved to California to live closer to Emily. She still grocery shops, but never alone, and she always checks her bags. Ryan Callahan is incarcerated at Southwood State Prison. He will be eligible for parole in 2053, when he's 62 years old. And across New Jersey, police departments now train officers to recognize tracking device crimes, a threat that's invisible until it's too late. The security camera at that parking lot is still running, still watching, still recording the truth that people try to hide. Because sometimes, kindness isn't kindness. Sometimes, it's the setup for something far darker. And sometimes, the difference between becoming a victim and becoming a survivor is noticing one small detail that doesn't belong. Margaret noticed, and that made all the difference.